Okay, folks, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. I am completely amped on Kool-Aid and Smarties, and not the bad kind of Kool-Aid, not the Jim Jones juice. I hope you enjoyed the new intros there. Thank you, Mr. T, for kicking some ass for us, as well as putting together that commercial for the thepreparedmind.club. That is your store to get all things prepped, folks. It is the Christmas season. It's the holiday season. It's the holiday shopping season. And we say at the Prepared Mind channel that we should give the gift of being prepared. Over at the preparedmind.club, Jolene has done a great job of getting that set. Really, folks, you're going to buy stuff. You may as well buy prepper items at this point because it is obviously SHTF off the hook. What I want to know, though, today is where in SHTF are we now? Where are we? Well, we're going to talk about it, folks. Get your questions in because I got the first 30 minutes. You guys get the bottom half of the hour. So you'll knock it and send it right back up to the top. So get your questions in. I was working with a t-shirt company over the phone today, and we're going to create some great limited edition Prepared Mind t-shirts, guaranteed to make you smile, to make others smile, and to make snowflakes cry. You betcha. So let's get into what's happening right now. Let's get into it. Where are we in SHTF? Well, you know, CNBC, get this, not political host, not their military host, not their educational host, not their news anchor, but their investment douche, Jim Kramer. He went on an insane rant today. Now, he's most famous in the world of prepping and investing for his rant that he did back in 2008 as he lost his ass on the air, was screaming and yelling, buy, don't sell. So today, Jim Kramer goes on a rant, but it's different this time, folks. His insane rant was begging, demanding Joe Biden to impose a universal vaccine mandate enforced by the military. That's what Jim Kramer wants. You know, these leftist scumbags, whether they're in education or entertainment, whether in news, or just everything, they're always getting others to do their dirty deeds. But you can tell what kind of a hurry he's in, the little bitch Jim Kramer, because he wants to use the military. Is he going to use the same Marine Corps that is saying, we don't want the vax? Is that what he's saying? Does he want to use the police departments out there that are saying, no Jim Jones juice for us? Well, yeah, he wants to use the military, folks. And people that want to use the military are always in a big fucking hurry. All a communist, folks, is a socialist in a big hurry. Keep that in mind. And I want to remind all would-be tyrants that the older I get, the less time a life sentence in prison means for a guy like me. One more reason why tyrants, communists, fascists should be very wary of Generation X veterans. That's a joke. We don't really glamorize violence around here. We don't recommend harmful or dangerous behaviors. We don't violate terms of service and guidelines, but we do talk about some nasty shit. So what I say to you, Jim Kramer, you little bitch, go ahead and try it. Fuck around and find out. Try it. Try it, you little tyrant. Unbelievable where these people, I don't know where they get off. Let's force the world. Because why? Because he's afraid the stock market's going to go down because of the Omicron. Oh my gosh. No. He's worried about is losing some of his money. So he's willing for a few dollars, even if it's $1 million, even if Jim Kramer's net worth is $10 million, and it's all on the line with the stock market. It's worth it to him to give everyone else Jim Jones juice to make them fully juicinated. With the Jim Jones juice booster shot, you bet. He's all for that. He'll make the world take it with the military right there forcing it to make sure his little pile of money doesn't evaporate. Well, I got news for you, you little bitch. And he is. He's like the economic Brian Setzer. It has nothing to do with the virus or any variant or any mutant. It has everything to do with the mutants who are on the Federal Reserve Board. It's just whether or not they're going to print some more money and throw it in the market and prop it back up. That's all it is. The little fuck was panicking. I mean, the stock market going down 500 points or 1,000 points is no big deal. It's happened many times in the past, and they just bail them out with the Exchange Stabilization Fund, with the Plunge Protection Team. No big deal. They can hold this economy. The economy's failed, but they can give it the appearance of being up. Now, what is 500 points on the Dow when the Dow is at 34,000? What's 500 points to the Dow when it was down? I mean, maybe it was a big deal if the Dow was at 10,000 or 5,000 points. Then it would be a significant drop. But 500 points over 35,000, that's not shit. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But hey, where are we in SHTF? Mainstream media mouthpiece saying we need universal mandates and the military doing it. You bet, folks. You bet. Now, you're going to love this. The setup grows. Where are we at in SHTF? We're being set up, folks. We're being set up. Let's get into it. Now, down at the Art Basel Miami art show, if we shall, Omicron did not stop them. That's right. The Art Basel Miami Beach kicks off this week, according to Bloomberg News. Tens of thousands of visitors want to go. Up to 80,000 visitors are expected. But this news story from Bloomberg, remember, folks, Bloomberg wanted to be president as a Democrat. Same Bloomberg. This is his organization. So you bet it mirrors his shiny ass in attitude. So here's what he says, the crowd of 80,000 is hardly anything where football stadiums were packed over the weekend and millions and their families gathered for Thanksgiving and Hanukkah celebrations. That's right, folks, Hanukkah. Then they go into the new variant. It has arrived as much of the U.S. has already returned to a semblance of normalcy. Don't worry, they'll flip that on its head. They'll use the excuse of, well, the stock market's bad because there's so much fear. Oh my gosh, the Omicron. Trying to make it sound dangerous, and no one gives a fuck. They went to see football games. They went home for Thanksgiving. They went down to Miami to look at an art exhibit. People don't care. They just don't care. But they are setting it up, folks. Nobody wants their shit. Everyone wants to get back to normal. They crave normalcy. But you have to understand, folks, those in control, those with power, don't want to give it up, right? They want everyone fully juicinated. In fact, I think it's time. I think it's time to share that one with you. Folks, we've got it here for you. Get the Jim Jones juice. Get fully juicinated. That's right. Millions of idiots can't be wrong. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, they can. According to the Los Angeles Times, in their article, President Xi Biden is facing the uncertain threat of the Omicron variant, and evolving pandemic tests the nation's patience. Don't worry, folks. They've got the answers. Everything they're going to do, everything they want to do, has already been planned. They've been practicing since March of 2020. We went all through 2020, all the way through 2021. They know exactly what they're doing. This pandemic is fully planned. They know what the next step is. They know the things they need to say and do. But this is all for show. They're going to push, folks. They're going to push. President Biden, according to the LA Times, is racing to show the country that his administration is prepared for the Omicron variant. As the WHO warned, there's a, quote, very high risk of new global outbreaks. A possibility that could prove demoralizing to Americans weary of a pandemic that began nearly 2 years. Yeah, no shit. Right? Yeah, weary. We've fucking had enough of it. But where are we at in this, folks? I'll tell you where it is. This is what Biden said. The variant is a cause for concern, not a cause for panic. That's right. There's no need to panic because I'm not going to die. There's no need to panic because there's no need for you or anyone else to die. But there is a cause for concern, and that is how can they maintain control of us? Here's some more from the stinky ass article. The uncertainty surrounding the variant has left Biden in a deliberate situation where he must demonstrate that he's taken the potential threat seriously. He's taking it seriously. Now, he takes it about as seriously as he takes a dump in his pants seriously. But that's it, folks. They're setting us up. They're setting us up for the next lockdown. I'm sticking by my guns. I'm sticking there. This whole thing is a giant shit show. Now, while we're in LA, folks, we need more of this kind of attitude. The LA County Sheriff, let me give you his name, Alex Villanueva, has notified the LA County Board of Soups that the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department will not work with a China-linked genetics firm that was hired by the county to conduct cerveza bug testing and registration. Wait a minute. Did I just say testing and registration? So they're going to test and register people? I don't think I've heard this word registering before used in such a way. Especially when talking about a Chinese-based genetics firm that's going to do testing and registration. Well, I'm glad the LA County Sheriff booted them out. I'm glad. And by the way, it was a no bid contract, meaning the company just said, hey, China virus. There's no need to put this out for bid. Just give us the fucking money. Well, I'm glad the sheriff said no fucking way. Right? This letter is to inform you that the LA County Sheriff's Department will not participate in COVID-19 registering or testing with Fulgent Genetics Corporation due to the fact it's not guaranteed to be safe and secure from foreign governments and will likely be shared with the Republic of China. Finally, we're starting to hear, folks, more law enforcement. And Alex Villanueva of the LA Sheriff's Department, he is the elected official there, is starting to act like an American and say, you know what? No, we're not doing it. We're not following it. We're not mandating it. Stuff it up your ass. We need more of that, folks. Where are we at in SHTF? We're right dab in the middle of it. And we've got people starting to resist and saying no. We've got the government saying, we're coming down. We're going to show you we know what we're doing. We got little weasels in the news and the media screaming for mandates. I read the one yesterday from that rainbow flag waving lunatic who said, well, when Trump was president, he's trying to kill us all. And then when Biden was president, everyone, we need mandates. It needs to rain mandates. At the head of this parade of lunacy, folks, is a little man named Dr. Doom. And Ted Cruz says that he is the most dangerous bureaucrat in American history. Now, that's saying something, coming from a country that has had the likes of, dare I say it, right? The head of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover. There is a dangerous bureaucrat, served as the head of the FBI basically his whole life. But he wasn't responsible for the death of thousands and tens of thousands and anything else. No, J. Edgar Hoover wasn't. J. Edgar Hoover did not shut down the entire nation and recommend the whole world shut down. Their jobs, their schools, their lives, their freedoms. So Ted Cruz slapped back at that little bitch who made a joke on national TV about how, Ted Cruz and also Senator Rand Paul, right, that they should have to answer, for what happened on January 6th. Ted Cruz says that little Fauci, his lies over gain of function could land him in prison for up to 5 years. Now, I know this is kind of a feel-good story, and I'm happy to read a feel-good story. But I say this, enough talk, arrest him. Folks, this is where we're at in SHTF. We have bureaucrats run amok. We have law enforcement either choosing side A or side B. We have law enforcement, paramedics, EMTs, firefighters, hospitals. We have doctors, administrators, nurses, medical personnel. Everyone's choosing sides. Do you want to be free and not take the Jim Jones juice? Or do you want to get in the pen with the other sheep? I tell you, folks, they think your freedoms suck. People like Dr. Doom, people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, people like not Peter. I almost said it. But that would be bad if I said that guy. Jim Kramer. And many others, folks, many others that think that your rights don't matter, that America doesn't, the Constitution doesn't matter, the law doesn't matter. Again, I want to remind you, just listen to their words. Where are we at in SHTF? Listen to their words and understand they fucking mean it. Listen to their words. You are deplorable. You aren't even human. You need to be in a concentration camp. You need to be in a re-education camp. We need serious depopulation. And let's start with Trump supporters. It's not me talking, folks. Those are Democrats on the street. Those are Democrats on the news. Those are Democrats in positions of power.
And not just to think about, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom.
There comes a time when you do have to give up what you consider your individual right of making your own decision. There comes a time when you do have to give up what you consider your individual right of making your own decision.
That's right. That's how these people think, folks. This is who we're dealing with. Shit has hit the fan. The military is emasculating itself. It is threatening to throw servicemen and women in the brig, in prison, court-martial them if they don't voluntarily take something that they're being mandated to take. In fact, Joe Biden's mandate has been put off till after Christmas. That's right. Well, what am I saying is going to happen after Christmas? Oh, you bet, folks. There's going to be a new drive, a new fearful drive for the Omicron. They're going to demand it. Hey, everyone needs to get all caught up. They need to get boosted, right? Get boosted today. Maybe Mr. T will make us some kind of a booster thing, right? Oh, you can't just have the Jim Jones juice. You got to feel the boost. Anyways, the whole country, all of these tyrants, folks everywhere, are cracking down on you. Shit has hit the fan and they're cracking down on you. Here's another one. Twitter. That's right, the little tweet. Well, we got rid of Jack Dorsey. They got rid of him. Jack Dorsey stepped down, whatever. The tyrannical gnome of bullshit. He quit. He's gone. So they have a new CEO, and just one day after he takes the job, Twitter bans the sharing of images or videos of private individuals without their consent, including memes and including videos of criminal activity. What does that mean? Well, memes. Whoever is in the meme has to have given permission to use their image. And if there's a video of crime going on, like BLM, Antifa, Black Bloc, fascist scum, if they're committing crimes by burning, looting, murdering, attacking police, burning down your public square, burning down your public buildings, burning down public transportation like cop cars, you can't show videos of these little criminals on Twitter. You bet. Folks, guess what? Twitter is committing suicide. Social media, folks, needs to go the way of the dinosaur. There needs to be a replacement for Twitter. There needs to be a replacement for Facebook. And there needs to be a replacement, yes, there does, for YouTube. There needs to be an adequate, fully funded replacement. The company called AdSense, right, would do well to see their advertising revenue stream business bolstered, right, by accepting other social networks. It would make sense to me. But folks, these people, they don't care. They will destroy their own companies, committing suicide in order to silence you. The First Amendment is under full-on attack. The Second Amendment, full-on attack. In fact, I had heard today, I saw a news article that, another shooting, another mass shooting going on. Wonder if the mainstream media is going to pick up on that, right? And we may as well just jump right into this. Here we go. In Sweden, get your electronic cerveza bug passport. Take that chip right in the old hand. Folks, it's not good enough just to have a symbolic mark, right? Like I was saying, the mark of the beast is, your mark in your head. That's how you think. You work with your hand, so taking the mark on the hand. These people are literally wanting people to accept a chip in their hand. Now, my video from earlier, my last video prior to this, I stated ad nauseum, never apologize. We're done apologizing. There's no reason to apologize. Apologizing does no good anyways, and who cares? We've got 8 billion people running around the planet, and even the most powerful and least popular but are loud, they're insulting everyone all the time. Who gives a shit? This demand for you to apologize is to get you to admit to being wrong so that they can then turn around and demand that you be fired or that you resign or that you be removed from positions of authority. So never apologize and never ever back down to communists or fascists. And Big Marge, that's Marjorie Taylor Greene, she learned fast. She learned really fast. And she is nothing but on the attack, never apologetic. She went off on the rhino, that is the Republican name only, Nancy Mace. Because why? Because Nancy Mace, a Republican, sided with Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar, who married her brother? What was that all about? Ilhan Omar, who supports terrorism and hates America and hates law enforcement cops in America. She hates our American laws, and I would be not surprised in the least if she just came out and said, I want Sharia law for the entire country because that's what it deserves. Never apologize, folks. We have a Republican siding with Ilhan Omar, a completely un-American piece of trash. And I won't apologize for that. Why should I? She probably hates white men and Christian men and American men and policemen. I'm sure she hates us all. Not a pleasant person at all. Why should any of us apologize to her? It's time to quit the apologizing, folks, and start taking the country back. It's time to stop acting weak and take a position of strength. Right? The Federal Trade Commission, where are we at in SHTF? Unbelievable. Folks, imagine this. Imagine if the wolves were looking at the henhouse and said, something's not quite right here. We're calling for an investigation, and we're appointing the foxes to go check into the henhouse and see how everything's operating. The FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, is ordering Walmart, Amazon, and Kroger and other companies to turn over information on empty shelves and higher prices. Instead of seeing this as a problem at the ports. Yeah, that's right. That's where the problem is, folks, at the ports. The fact that they have mandates and truckers are saying, no Jim Jones juice for me. The FTC wants to make it look like there's some other problem. Right? It's ordering Walmart, Amazon, Kroger, wholesalers, suppliers, food companies like Tyson Kraft to, quote, turn over information to help study causes of empty shelves and sky-high prices. I'll tell you what, FTC, why don't you go over to the Federal Reserve and ask them about money printing, hyperinflation? I tell you what, why don't you, instead of going to these companies and doing a study, go to the port of LA, look offshore at all the ships parked out there. I mean, here's a quote from the chair, FTC chair, Lena M. Khan. Quote, supply chain disruptions are upending the provision and delivery of a wide array of goods ranging from computer chips and medicines to meat and lumber. It sounds like you figured it the fuck out, pal. Supply chain disruptions. Nothing about having food. It's about supply chain, getting it there. Computer chips, lumber, medicine. They're parked in the ships and shipping containers offshore. And it would be your union thugs not operating the cranes, not operating the lifts, not operating the trucks, the shuttles. There's your problem, folks. It's a dog and pony, horse shit, bullshit, crock of shit. Where are we at in SHTF? Well, we're right up to here, and it's still coming. It's still coming. I want to thank you guys for supporting us. If you're here right now watching live, get your questions in. If you're here right now, we got some great posts on patreon.com. That's right. 7 cents a day, and you get news items from all over the place, folks. Stuff that we can't talk about on YouTube. So I've got another dozen stories. I can't get to them because it's now time. It's now time for the Q&A.
Are you ready?
All right. I almost don't want to read your questions. I almost want to do the stuff I have. I don't have enough time. But we'll get your questions anyways. We got Bonnie Blue checks in and says, here's a statement. John, I believe the reason the feds are blaming retailers, wholesalers, and oil companies is because socialists always move to price controls. You bet. They want to nationalize or put under control of the federal government means of production and distribution and control prices. They love that shit. They love it. One of the problems we have here, though, is are we going to have a communist socialist system or are we going to have a fascist socialist system? It's hard to know who's going to win this, but I tell you what, there's a lot of us out here going, communism or socialism, those are our fucking choices. How about a little freedom? Why don't you guys back the fuck up and accept the rules? Well, they're not going to, folks. It's going to get a lot more painful as we move. But the government doesn't seem to understand rules, folks. While we get to the next question, I want to give you a brief example. In Massachusetts, they have a Republican governor. But this Republican governor is considering implementing vaccine passports. Vaccine passports from a Republican governor. How is that going to stop the spread of cerveza bug? Have you ever heard of the Constitution, asshole? Governor, asshole. Have you ever heard of the Constitution? See, this is about rewarding pharmaceutical companies for making campaign contributions. They make campaign contributions to get people elected. Then those who are elected just pay that money out to everybody. It's a fascist system, folks. It's not communist. It's fascist. But where needed, when needed, they will control prices. They will control the means of production to control those prices. Look out. We got Rick here. He said, I'd feel more optimistic about the future if the southern border was shut down. It's all a numbers game, and the left is bringing in millions of future voters. Once Texas is blue, the country is gone. Yeah, that is a big, big, big problem. Now, the Democrats know they're losing in Texas, and they're losing in Florida. They're losing in the southern states. They're losing everywhere. They're going to lose congressional seats. They're going to lose power unless they can somehow, by hook or by crook, that is by fucking cheating and fraud, maintain control. And they will bring in all the voters they can to try and offset the fact that people are running from the Democrat Party. They can't decide. I mean, while they're trying to say we're here to help you, the people, while at the same time looking at the people saying, fuck you, we're going to destroy you. Your children, we're destroying your children, your retirement, your jobs, the economy, we're destroying the country. Fuck you, but we're here for you. Unbelievable, folks. Their attitude, awful. So Lara Logan was talking about this little megalomaniac, Dr. Doom, right? She has her show and says he doesn't represent science to me. He represents Dr. Mengele, Dr. Joseph Mengele, the Nazi doctor. Folks, Dr. Doom to the nation's health. He's killing it. Democrats to the nation's health. They're killing it. Can you see that they're all part of the same game? Where are we at in SHTF? Where are we at? They want to destroy everything, and they're doing it. They're doing it. Gary D checks in and says, I believe one reason that all of these illegals are being let in is to destroy American traditions. What do you think of this? I agree. It's part of the plan. The illegals coming up serve many functions. Let's start with Republicans. Because that pile of crap, Gigi, is in the White House, it is demoralizing to America as they open the border, tear down the wall, stop enforcing the rules that exist, very much for the purpose of protecting our country. Now, you have Dr. Mengele, the little midget man, who thinks he's worried about the world and he's going to save the world, and he's science. He likes to say, I am science. I represent science. He thinks he's God. So you and your family aren't allowed to have people for Thanksgiving or Christmas. Remember that shit last year? No Christmas, no Thanksgiving. Everyone locked down. Put on 2 masks, 5 masks. And then they're letting in millions of illegal aliens who don't have good health. who don't come from a healthy system like we had once in the United States of America. And then he says that's not a super spreader event. Letting millions of illegals in, untested, unchecked, and just spreading them around the country. Does he really care about the health of the country, folks? Or does he really care about power and control? Letting these illegals in, it is to destroy our traditions and cultures, you bet. Right? When we once had a unified nation, we had some political differences, not much, but it was America, by golly. And don't you fuck with it if you're from another country. Now they're inviting in a complete other country. Mexico is a Catholic nation, right? Pretty close to America's with regard to faith, or parts of America, but still a completely different culture. Period. It's not to say they're immoral, but the people that are coming here from there are immoral if they come here unlawfully and don't follow legal procedures. In other words, you're inviting in an un-American criminal element and then telling it to go vote. You bet, folks, that will destroy our traditions. Unbelievable. Piece by piece, bit by bit, you got it. We got Mikey G says, when is President Trump's media platform operational? I don't know. The sooner the better. I haven't heard. I'm waiting. I'm sitting out here just like you guys. I'm on the waiting list. I want to keep, I've got my ear right to the ground all the time listening. But I'll tell you what I'm more concerned about at this moment, at this place in SHTF, is right now across America, we've got smash and grab robberies at retail outlets, stores, jewelry stores, clothing stores, fashion stores. They actually went into the smash and grab, but guess what? A fucking Lowe's, Home Depot's. What are they stealing? The tools required to be more efficient smash and grab robbers. That's right. They're stealing crowbars, drills, sawzall, anything they can get their hands on. So that what? So they can do more. Expect more of this, folks. And on top of that, we have follow home robberies. You know what that is? That's where you're driving home from work or the gas station, driving home from the store, and someone follows you and they seize what house you go into, and you're now a home invasion robbery person, victim, if you will. I hate to say you're a victim. I don't like to do that, but they want to victimize you. So let me ask you this. Who's going to protect your business from smash and grab? Who's going to protect you and your family? Who is going to protect, right, you? If a smash and grab is occurring right in front of you, who's going to protect you? Are you safe as just a regular, normal person? You're not law enforcement. You're not anyone. Well, folks, remember, a retired Oakland police officer who is acting as security for a news crew, right? They got to film him being murdered, shot. You're not safe, folks. You're not safe. If someone follows you home, would you know it? Do you check your mirror and see who's following you? If someone is following you, what would you do to defuse the problem, to defeat their efforts? I'll tell you what I do. If I go anywhere and I get more than one turn behind me by any vehicle, I will not pull into the area where I live. I'll continue to drive, make several more turns, and make sure whoever was following me is no longer before I come back to where the bunker is, because no one needs to know where I'm at. Right? That's what I do to diffuse any potential follow home robbers. But it's going on. It is becoming a serious problem in America. And Democrats are doing nothing at all. Well, President Trump says they need to mobilize the National Guard. Well, are you going to put them at every store? No, you can't do that. There's got to be a way to deal with this, folks, and I'll tell you exactly what it is. Stores, either you do it yourself or you hire private personnel to protect your store using lawful lethal defense. Same thing that's going to stop Antifa and BLM from beating people's brains in with skateboards or shooting them with guns is for people to protect themselves, protect businesses, protect each other. There's not enough police. There's not enough National Guard. There's not enough military folks to protect us all from these scumbags. Moving on, we got Oregon Patriot. It says, buy prepper items and silver. The dollar is not long for this world, and it's far more suppressed than gold. Silver is. He says, buy jacketed lead as well. Yeah, I have my precious metals all lined out, folks. You need lead, copper, and brass. You need cold blue steel. After you've got enough of those precious metals, you know, copper, brass, lead, after you have enough of that, then you can consider precious metals, other precious metals like silver. Essentially, do you want your money in a bank where it can be confiscated, right? Taken because you're not spending it right, and then given to someone else, redistributed wealth. If you want to continue to trust banks, then that's what you have to risk, right? Everything we do involves risk, folks, right? You may as well buy something of value if you have wealth, the ability to do it. A lot of people think that, you know, but thank you very much for that comment there, Oregon Patriot. I do. I think silver is great. I've talked about it in the past. I think it's an excellent way to store your wealth. Protect it because you're not leaving it in someone else's hands. We got Jay Clifton checking in. He says, I just want you to know I can also melt my silver down and make bullets. I have actually bought silver bullets in the past. Can't remember if they're silver plated or just a silver alloy, but they were real silver, and they were priced a little bit more, a little higher accordingly. But someone sent me a message, email saying, John, if you're not reloading ammunition, I really think you should look into it again. And you guys may or may not remember, it depends on how long you've been members of the channel. But years ago, back when I had a big old house, that was a long fucking time ago, folks, and I spent 5 years in a fifth wheel, living in a fifth wheel. What would you call that? I don't know. I call it trying to save some money and get my life back. But before that, yeah, I used to do videos in front of my loading bench with all of my Dillon reloading equipment. Yeah, if you can reload, yeah, if you can pour your own lead or silver bullets, copper also, folks. You can buy all copper projectiles now, ACPs. If you can get your own powder and primers, the deal is, or the trick is you have to have everything ahead of time. You can't say, oh, look, the whole world over here is having trouble. I guess I'm going to start reloading and then think you're going to go out and buy supplies. If we got a food problem, you got an ammo problem. It's just that simple. We're seeing all of our levels of supplies going down. I mean, so much so that the fucking FTC is investigating. I tell you what, FTC, why don't you investigate the COMEX? Why the silver and gold price are being suppressed. Why don't you investigate that? I'm sure the answers are right there. All right, we got Jezariah. He says, longtime YouTube follower, but new to Patreon. Welcome to Patreon, man. $2 a month, 7 cents a day. Patreon is it. It's it. Love it, love it, love it. Love those promos and bumpers. Thank you, Mr. T. All right, back to Jezariah. It says, longtime YouTube follower, but new to Patreon. Because of you and the members of the Prepared Mind community, I know that liberty and freedom will prevail. Merry Christmas from mine to yours, and Godspeed, my friend. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Godspeed to you. Semper Fi to all folks. And Semper Fi is very important, right? You don't have to be a jarhead to say it. You certainly don't have to be a jarhead to believe the premise behind that. Always be faithful to what you believe, right? God, country, core, yourself, your family, right? Have the courage of your own convictions. Understand freedom and liberty. That's what this country was founded on. Not only that why the immigrants first came here, but when the states formed and then they joined and created a union after defeating the scumbag King George efforts, right? It's always been about freedom, folks. It's always been about liberty. It's always been about us, the people, having to be the ones to secure it. The Constitution was a contract written by which a government was created, and our liberties were secured, protected from government, all governments. But now the Constitution is being ignored. It's being treated more like loose guidelines than actual rules that can be enforced against it. In fact, they use rules against us, do they not? Me and you? We try and say the rules are the Constitution and you're not allowed. And they say, we'll see you in court whenever we feel like holding court so that we can tell you what we think of ourselves and your rules. It's a bad system, folks. But yeah, liberty, it'll never die. It can be damaged, it can be harmed, it can be taken from us, right? But it doesn't die. It can always be won back. It can always be taken back. It will always be yearned for, loved. The value of liberty and freedom is incredible, folks. When people first are granted it, lose your liberty once, folks. And then when you get it back and reclaim it, you'll get a feeling like you've never felt before, to be free. All right. If we got some more questions, go ahead and throw them on up there. Thank you, Jolene. We got Jay Clifton checking in. He says, here's a statement. Pfizer. Now, Pfizer is that company, one of the ones that makes Jim Jones juice. Pfizer is talking everybody down that is talking down about the Jim Jones juice, calling them criminals. And folks, Pfizer paid the largest criminal settlement in history, $2.3 billion. That's $2.3 billion with a B. And now we have the Pfizer CEO who doesn't even speak good English in my book. Tells me a lot about what he thinks as far as liberty, rights, restricted government. Right? If you speak good English, if you speak American version of English fluently, then I know you should know fucking better than to say stupid shit like that. That anyone that talks down the Jim Jones juice is a criminal. Yeah, they want it criminalized. They want free speech criminalized. The same way they wanted PC, political correctness, to correct people's speech. The same way they created this idea of hate crimes so that you couldn't say anything. They can say what you're saying is hateful and therefore criminal. I'm sorry. Speech cannot be criminalized unless it directly causes injury or loss, which is why you can't say in a crowded room, you can't scream fire unless there truly is a fire, because people get hurt in trampled in stampedes. So there's that would, if you were to yell fire, cause a stampede where people would die. Questioning the integrity and intelligence of people like Dr. Doom and the Pfizer CEO and the President of the United States is both a legitimate economic, political, and medical question to ask. We got Eli in the Wolverine State says, I don't think John covered no vax, no food, no gas in India. No, I didn't. Now, we know of one of the provinces or states of India has chosen to take all of their horses and give them horse dewormer, and their horses are now free of parasites and disease. But in other provinces in India, it seems like they have an issue that they want everyone to get the Jim Jones juice. And if you don't, you're going to be denied food or any other product or service that is socially available to the public. In other words, they're going to condemn you to death. They're not going to make you do anything. And this is what's incredible, this idea that, well, they can't make you do anything, but they can take away everything else that is life-sustaining. Food, water, your house, your job, gasoline. This is where it comes down to rubber meeting the road and just really understanding what's going on. Putting pressure on people, threatening their lives in such a way as to make their lives uncomfortable, more difficult, is called duress. It's called coercion, and it is a fucking crime, right? If I went up to someone and said, you can't do that anymore. And they're like, what? I can't drive my car to work? I'm like, you can't drive your car to work. It's bad for everyone. We don't want the air pollution. It's unhealthy. For health reasons, you're not allowed to drive your car anymore. And that person says, if I can't drive my car, I can't get to work. If I can't get to work, I can't make money. If I can't make money, I can't pay bills and feed my family. So what you're telling me is that I have to obey you, right? Or you're going to destroy me. This is what they're doing. They're saying, we're going to destroy everybody and destroy everything unless you obey what we're commanding. And what they're obeying you command has the potential to destroy everything. It's unfucking believable that these people think that's fine. You have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The right to life includes being able to go in public and buy food. I know we're talking about India, but they would propose this here in the United States of America. It is. In fact, I take this back. Yeah, New York, California, you can't go into stores without a fucking passport. You can't get a passport unless you get the Jim Jones juice. The state cannot take away your ability to get food because that is essential to living your life. Now, in Chicago, folks, years ago, they tried putting a tax on ammunition that was so punitive that people wouldn't be able to afford it. And that is how they tried getting rid of ammunition, which would make firearms useless without it. But the court ruled, and this was years and years ago, folks, a couple decades ago, the court ruled that by putting a punitive tax, they were interfering with a right guaranteed by the Constitution at the state and federal level. So the state of Illinois, the city of Chicago, could not put a punitive ammunition tax on that product. In other words, they couldn't even impede a right. They couldn't make exercising a right more difficult than it otherwise would be. And that made it an unconstitutional law. So here we are. Are you out of your fucking minds? You, John, cannot go to the store, according to California, unless you get the Jim Jones juice. Well, they can't make me get the Jim Jones juice, but they think they can punish me by saying I can't go into a store or go into a restaurant. I'm sorry, I have a right to life, and you're impeding that. You're making it difficult. You're making it impossible for me to get food. That is a violation of my rights. It's a violation of the Constitution. It's a violation of natural law, and it is a fucking crime. These people are criminals, just like that little fuckstick Jim Kramer on CNBC wants everyone forced at gunpoint from the military to get the Jim Jones juice. They're tyrants, folks. We're going to come to blows. There will be violence in the street, and every one of these leftist scumbags needs to be asked a few questions. Like, who did you vote for? And that says it all right there. Who did you vote for? Now we know who you are. Now we know what you believe. Now we know what you're willing to agree to. You're willing to agree to deprive everyone else of life, liberty, and property unless they obey you. You're out of your fucking minds. This is not a game anymore, folks. This is going on. This is real life. It's right in front of us. Where are we at in SHTF? We're right here in the middle of it with these people threatening around the world to take away other people's rights. including the right to life, the right to travel about, freedoms, liberties. That's what it's all about. That's what it's always been about, freedoms and liberties. On a parting note, I'm going to let you listen to the fully juice-nated advertisement again. I want you to think about it, if you will. Think about how they're forcing people, or trying to get them to behave the way they want, which we know is contrary to what is best for us. And they're making demands. They're going to keep pushing it. The media is demanding it. Educators are demanding it. Corporations are demanding it. Biden is talking about it. Oh, you bet. Here it comes. Wait till after Christmas. Unbelievable.
Idiots can't be wrong, can they?